What is it, guys? It is summer, so today we're going to be talking about a franchise that is near and dear to me. We're going to be ranking the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, to start this off, um, say for me personally, this franchise is important, holds a special place in my heart. I still remember seeing the OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre on VHS, getting the classic, which I think is still better than the OG artwork, but the media VHS artwork with just Leatherface and the background of the face with the eyes. Um, for the first time, and just being terrified, even like anytime I heard a chainsaw, just being terrified. So this franchise is special to me. There's 9 films in this franchise, and we're going to start from worst to best. So let's kick it off with number 9 being Leatherface. Now, I remember this movie coming out. It's like direct TV or it's something like that. You get it special to the pay per view, whatever. But I finally watched this film around that time, and I remember thinking, what are we doing? Like, this is not a good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I do think, on the other hand, it is a good road movie. So if you stripped all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre references and that whole connection with this film, it would have been a good road movie. But I'm just not a fan of the twist. Like, you think the big guy, you think he's Leatherface that doesn't talk and all that, but it's the one that's like more talkative, and he turns out to be Leatherface. I just didn't buy it, and I just really don't like how he's so normal throughout this whole film. And then at the end, he gets cut in the face, and then it's like the switch just flips, and he's automatically like wanting to be the Leatherface that we know. I just don't buy it. I think this movie stinks, and that's why it is ranked last. Now, number 8 on my list is going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2020. Um, we do the whole Halloween 2028 thing with the requel. You bring Sally back for pretty much no reason. I don't really want to give this movie more credit than it deserves. Um, I think a lot of people might want to say, oh, this movie's making fun of this and that, and they're bringing Sally back just to have her killed because they're making fun of Halloween 2018. I don't think this movie's as smart as that. Um, but I will say, I don't hate the movie. I really don't like any of the characters. But as far as the movie, I think it has some awesome scenes and imagery. And I know how ridiculous it looks with Leatherface and the sunflowers or whatever, but I love that image, and I do. I know a lot of people hate it. I love the the bus scene with the camera. It's brutal. I mean, he's just going through slicing and dicing just everybody, and I think it's great. That's one thing I'll say. The kills in this, most of the kills are all pretty good. I mean, I think the level of violence is really good. It just doesn't. It just doesn't hit with me. It doesn't resonate with me. I think there's a lot of things they were gonna do, but switched up, like the whole subplot with her being a survivor of a school shooting. I think they was going to do more with that, but they decided to take it out. Um, I guess with test screenings or whatever. But it just feels really cheap, and obviously it feels like a straight to video movie to me. Even it is straight to Netflix, but still straight to video um, movie to me. But I don't hate it. But it is number 8 on my list. Number 7 on my list is going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, The Next Generation. While I do like this movie, and I guess I should have stated it earlier, after Leatherface, I really like all these movies, but The Next Generation, I think Matthew McConaughey is excellent in this. I mean, he's just screaming and acting his ass off in this, and he is the best part of this. I think the problem with that is it kind of overshadows Leatherface. I think Leatherface in this is extremely weak, and then you got stuff I wish was expanded on or just not done at all with the whole Illuminati and Hellraiser thing it does at the end that really doesn't get explained and really doesn't make sense. But I do still like this movie. I do think it's worth a watch, so that's why Next Generation is number 7 on my list. Now, number 6 on my list is a movie that I absolutely hated when it first came out, and if I was making this when this film came out, it'd have been dead last. But time and stuff have just put in a new light. But that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or not even Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just Texas Chainsaw 3D. Um, I really, when this came out, I couldn't get over the whole timeline and how it's supposed to be, you know, how many ever years after in the 70s compared to it feels modern. I finally got all over that, and I just enjoy the hell out of this movie. I think Alexandria Daddario. That's all it needs to be said about why I need to watch this movie. Um, she's excellent. Um, I like the characters. I do like the story. Once I put past everything, even Leatherface and his grandpappy pants, and because he's supposed to be like 60, 70 years old up to this point. Um, I'm not a fan of the mask for this. This is probably my least favorite mask out of the whole franchise. Not count Leatherface because I really don't count that. Um, but I think it's just really fun, enjoyable film. I think that whole scene when he's at the fair is excellent. I want more of that, something different, something new. I just want to see Leatherface creating this havoc in these places that we haven't seen. And I thought that was excellent. I wish they would kind of expanded on it a little bit more, but it was still cool to see. And do your thing, cuz it's going to be probably one of the most debated lines out of this whole franchise. But looking back, I love it. You know, I do think it is rated low for this franchise, but I really like it. It's really enjoyable. It's really fun. So number 5 on the list, it's going to be a little bit of, I don't know, I wouldn't say controversial, but the whole making of this film probably was controversial. That's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Leatherface. Um, and I got to meet the late great Jeff Burr, and really didn't spend any time when I met him talking about this film. I wanted to know about his work on Full Moon and Pumpkinhead 2 more than this, because I think we all kind of know this really wasn't what he had in mind, and this was kind of messed with the studio. But with all that being said, I just really think that it is a really forgettable movie out of this whole franchise other than Leatherface. I don't think there's like one moment that you're like, yeah, I remember that from this. Um, Other than him getting the Saw's family chainsaw, or for whatever reason, this scene has always stuck in my head when Leatherface has the Walkman, and I think it's his brother that like throws it in the stove and he makes him get it and pisses him off. That scene, for whatever reason, just sticks out in my head quite a bit. But I still think it's fun, and it doesn't hurt the franchise as maybe some of these I've talked about before have in a way. Still think it respects it in a certain way, but I think this is too hands on by the studio to be exactly what it should have been. And I love the long hair mullet Leatherface. I love the look of Leatherface in this. And how can I not forget the dude from, I don't know his name or his name from Lord of the Rings, but the dude Lord of the Rings is in this. And when we're talking about horror franchises, Texas Chainsaw Massacre's gotta have the most star power through the whole franchise out of any of these main franchises. I mean, you got Matthew McConaughey, Renee Zellweger, you got the dude from Lord of the Rings, Dennis Hopper. I mean, come on, right? I mean, star power is in this almost every entry of this whole franchise. But that is number 5. It's gonna be Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Leatherface. Now, number 4 on this list, I know a lot of people might say that this is too low, and that's fine. But I just don't think it's as good as in movies before it. And that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. I think Ari Lehman is a lot better in this than the remake from 0203, whatever it is, I can't remember. Um, but I love the whole like Vietnam draft dodging storyline that it's got going for it, and Ari Lehman finds that out, and he's kind of roasting all the main characters. It's just I do like the characters in this. It's just I feel like it's more Saw-ish, if that makes sense, than Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I feel like that's kind of what they was going for in this one, because Saw was already big and out at this point, and they were doing the more torture, brutal thing in this one. So that is why it is number 4 on my list. Now, number 3 on my list, I'm sure this is going to be controversial. I know a lot of people, I mean, it's 50-50 really. A lot of people like it, a lot of people don't like it, but that's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Um, for me and my age, obviously, I had already, up to this point before this came out, I'd already seen the OG and I'd already seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. But this is the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie I got to see and experience in the theaters. Um, and it was just a great experience for me being, I don't know if I was 10 or 12 years old. My brother took me to see this. Um, and it is the best of these big remakes, in my opinion. And I think it captures the spirit, in a way, of the OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Cast wise, I do feel like the cast is a little too pretty, a little too Hollywood for this, but I still feel like it feels nasty and it feels hot. And I think this is probably my favorite looking Leatherface. I like the portrayal of Leatherface, just a brute. Got some awesome kills in it, and this is the one I go back to almost the most and rewatch, just because, like I said, it's the first one I see in theaters. In a way, it's my Texas Chainsaw Massacre, even though I've seen the other ones beforehand. Um, but I think the biggest downfall of this film is the ending and cutting Leatherface's arm off, and you're kind of stuck. Like, it did well, so they made, obviously it did well. They made the beginning, but they had to do a prequel because they've already cut, and it obviously done well because they made the beginning, but they cut Leatherface's arm off, and that kind of pigeonholes you, and you can't do much after that. Which I know the comics, he comes back. I think he's got a hook for a hand, but still, I just think for a major studio like New Line to do this and to greenlight the ending where you're cutting his arm off is is not good, and it kind of leaves you in a bad spot for sequels, and that's why you had to do a prequel. Now, number two on my list is probably going to be the most controversial. Um, if I had to guess, and it is what it is, but I still love this movie. I still think it is a top five greatest horror movies ever made. But with that being said, it's going to be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the OG, the original. And I kind of gave you a history already with me and with this film, and seeing it for the first time VHS with the media artwork, which I'll probably show here. Um, but this is just, like I said, I mean, I think it's top five greatest horror movies ever made. It's a masterpiece. It's a classic, in my opinion, and that's why it's number two. Now we're here. I think we all know what number one is, but no surprise to me. And if you watch this channel long enough, you know the stuff I like. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, I think this is the greatest sequel ever made because I think Toby Hooper realizes, hey, I'm not going to be able to replicate or redo what I did in the first one. So for this, more comedy, great characters. Bill Moseley as Chop Top is excellent. You couldn't have done a better job. Leatherface in this, the sexually frustrated Leatherface. Caroline Williams. Everybody in this movie is great. This whole movie is excellent, and I think it's one of the best sequels ever made. The opening sequence alone is great with the college kids, calling in the radio station, and then the whole thing with Leatherface and all that. It's just a great movie. So this is how I'm gonna rank them. But until next time, guys, be sure to rewind or die.